When I was about 8, my dad gave me a Lionel train for Christmas. And we had a big table set up in the basement that we ran the train around. And we had that for maybe 4 or 5 years, and then both my dad and I kind of lost interest in it. But for the last quite a few years, I thought it would be fun to do some model railroading. So I got interested in going to the much bigger stuff and putting the train outside in the garden. Twice a week I'm out here weeding and picking up. If it isn't the maple trees dropping seeds or the leaves coming down at the end of the year, it's cottonwood, or there's always something to pick up. This is an engine called a Climax. Was used around the late 1800s, 1900s to haul logs and ore. It was it had a great pulling power. It could pull a lot of weight, but it couldn't go very fast. And this particular model was built from a pretty inexpensive kit that was just a box full of wood parts, and it's all built up from scratch, glued together, a lot of details added, and then painted to look old and weathered. And all the other cars on this little logging train were also built from scratch. The electronics are in here. Sound system. And all the batteries and everything go in that car. Real logs from a real tree. Probably took about 70 hours to build the engine. Build and paint it. And then maybe another 30 or 40 hours to build the rest of the train. The boiler is a wooden dowel, and these are little brass strips. The rivets are real tiny nails. There's a little strip of cardboard here to make the detail on the stack. Some of this is coat hanger wire, fine wire that's bent. And then it's painted to look like metal and rusted and weathered to look old. When I was building the railroad, everything was just hard physical labor. It was kind of fun in a way because it was like building a real railroad. I mean, you had to shovel dirt around, and you had to go after tree roots with saws, and I hauled in hundreds and hundreds of pounds of cement and tons of rock and yards of dirt. You really felt like you were building the transcontinental railroad across the United States. The railroad represents a narrow gauge railroad in the Colorado Rocky Mountains. And those railroads around the turn of the century hauled ore, gold, lumber, and people through the mountains.